Back from E3, I've gotten a lot of material, a lot of things to talk about, and the one you guys have been begging me to talk about the most is the Spider-Man game, which I got to play for a decent amount of time. Sony's press conference let out, and then it immediately opened up into a little fake cardboard New York City where we were able to run up and play Spider-Man. And you may have even seen me on the live stream playing it for a second. It was kind of funny. I wasn't crying, I swear. Maybe I was a little bit. I'm glad they didn't really catch that, because that would have been really embarrassing. But Spider-Man is pretty much what you would expect, honestly. At face value, we've seen enough of this game. We've seen a lot of gameplay of this game, and I've been pretty satisfied from the beginning. I said, hey, I don't even need to see that much more at this E3. I already like what I see. I'm already going to get the game. It's one of my most anticipated. But having my hands on it really was a plus, because now I can confirm that it is actually fucking really good. The big thing, though, is the swinging. The swinging is what everybody wants to know. The swinging is what everybody loves. It's what I come to these games for, and it's why I've played every single Spider-Man game, even the crappy ones, just to get that sense of swinging. And here, with this Insomniac Spider-Man, I think it's the best it's been since Spider-Man 2. However, I don't know if it still reaches the heights of Spider-Man 2 by being completely physics-based. Here, it's still, something about it still feels slightly off. It feels a little bit floaty. I don't know what exactly it is. Now, Insomniac did say that you will be able to upgrade your swinging after a while, but it really just doesn't feel as weighty and momentum-based as I hoped it would. However, that being said, the rest of it is really good. The actual swing, the animation, the way it flows is great. Your webs actually have to attach to buildings, which is huge. Not only that, the game is designed really well that once you know the systems and once you figure out the web zipping and stuff like that, you can't really like screw up and hit a wall and look like an idiot. You can kind of always keep moving, whether you're wall running, you're running up a building, you're dodging through a fire escape or swinging on a light post. That stuff all really works well, very seamlessly, and just makes you feel like you're being Spider-Man. You know, I started this video out with little tiny complaints about the swing, but still, I can already see myself swinging around the city for a really long time. I even did it with the Amazing Spider-Man games. As much as their swinging systems weren't perfect, I'm going to be swinging around New York City quite a bit. And this seems to be a very good New York City. I was able to pause it and zoom out the map, and it seems damn big. Not only that, as a native New Yorker, I did stumble across a couple of streets that I did immediately recognize, and I was like, oh, this is totally here. And then I would walk and find a street sign and go, oh, wow, great. And then I'd look and I'd go, oh, great, another landmark. It's not one-to-one, obviously, but they did a really good job of giving you that feel. That's something that I really care about, considering so many games put you in New York City. A lot of them are half-assed, and so far this seems pretty cool, especially when you're on the ground level. There's lots of citizens walking around, a lot of NPCs on screen, cars. You don't really get a lot of empty, crappy streets. It just feels like a dense world with a subway system and all of that. It seems pretty well realized. I also, one of the first things I did in a demo, and I'd like to think I was one of the first people with this hands-on to do it, because it was the first thing I did. I went right to the Empire State Building, climbed all the way up on top, and looked around, and then jumped off. Because goddamn it, this is a fucking Spider-Man game, and it is what you are supposed to do. And looking around at the top, the draw distance was spectacular, man. The city looked great. And not only that, you could see the Avengers Tower, which Stark Tower, obviously, but it was a tall, skinny tower, and it had an A, which makes me very excited to see what the future of these Marvel games really holds in terms of building a video game universe. I think the potential is so good. It's so there. This game just has to really nail it. And so far it seems like it does. Even from the Sony press conference, we got to see a tease of the Sinister Six and a tease of someone else that was shown off screen. That could have been a villain, but it also could have very well been a hero. It could have been Iron Man, could have been Captain Marvel. Those are my predictions. I'm curious to see yours. Combat. Combat also is pretty, I think combat's honestly the highlight of the game. It's very good. It's a little bit Arkham-based. There's lots of emphasis on dodging, but there's a lot you can do. There's a lot in Spider-Man's repertoire. Not only can he just do the punches and the hits, he can also dodge, he can also web, just shoot webs at people. He can also hold the web and wrap somebody up. He can also pull that person towards him. He can also, while punching people, punch them up in the air. Now, by punching people up in the air, you could either jump up with them and continue your combo in the air, or punch them up, move on to someone else, or punch them up, web them, pull them back down and slam them down. That I think is great, and some Spider-Man games do it better than others, is the sense of push and pull with the webs, and here there seems to be a lot of good pulling and stuff like that, and it's good. There's also, when you get your combo up, you can do a triangle and circle move together that does like a cool finishing move. It works slightly different than Batman Arkham. It's not as Arkham-y as you would expect. It's a little more deliberate here. It's actually a little bit more strategic, considering Batman has way more gadgets at his disposal. Here you have a few. Here it just seems a little bit more like every move is more important. Also, there are dudes with rocket launchers, and they can pretty much one-shot you. But thankfully, dodging works really well, because when you dodge, you really feel like Spider-Man, and it's really cool. Plus, the environments themselves, some of the encounters, I had an encounter in a construction site. The way it's designed, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can shoot a shelf, pull it down, it falls on some guys. You can shoot a web, grab a sandbag, swing it around, slam a dude with it. So far, I think it feels pretty fun, and it was actually kind of challenging at points. I'm just very curious to see if it holds my interest for the entire game. I also got to do a boss fight with Shocker. That was pretty funny. It had some really good dialogue exchanges that I won't spoil, but it was also just a decent, regular old video game boss fight. Some other people I played it with said it was a little repetitive and a little boring. I found it to just be your basic boss battle, and I don't know, I kind of want that sometimes, so I was okay with it. Also, it was a boss battle inside where at points you had to avoid the ground, and swinging around indoors felt like how you would expect. It was fine. The camera was a little at times, but I had fun. And I guess I could say that about my entire hands-on. Like, I can't give you guys every single minute detail, but overall, it has my approval, my seal of approval. I can't wait to play the full game. I can't wait to see if the combat holds up. I can't wait to see if the swinging is a little bit better than it feels at the start of this demo. And honestly, I just can't wait to see where the story goes, because they have a really good grip on Spider-Man, his writing, his voice acting, and hopefully the world building. So I have a lot of questions, but now they're all good questions, because at least now I know at a base level the game is pretty decent. But I want to hear what you guys think down in the comments. We haven't really talked about Spider-Man too much. We haven't talked about too much since E3 because I've been so busy. But I want to know what you're feeling. I want to know what your expectations are, your hopes and dreams. Maybe you can't play it because you don't have a PlayStation. I feel your frustrations. I'm looking forward to hearing from any of you guys. So let's talk down there, down in the comments. Of course, I'm going to be down there talking to you guys. But if you gotta be anywhere else, I'm on Twitter's, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as well. Why did I say it like that? I think I'm going crazy. And also, if you're bored, we have episodes of the Because Video Games podcast up. That will be linked in the description. It's a podcast between my best friend and I, Andrew Gebbia. And we just talk about video games and stuff. We shoot the shit. Consider it. I think you might like it. But as always, I have to say it. Thank you guys so much for sitting around and listening to me ramble about stuff I like. But as always, I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe because video games.